are going to be on.
Mr. Jacoby.
Hello, Miss Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. What a lovely day.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I thought I left that good weather in New York, which was so spectacular, and it has been just lovely out here.
I know. How's Chular weather?
Well, you know, it's fine.
It's fine?
We drink all of our bottles out of a paper bag, and we keep our life savings in our left-hand rear pocket. But it's other than that.
You know what I've always heard, though, about like the Salinas Valley is that you get the wind off of the coast. So while it might be, you would think it's hot because it's inland,
it's not
you get
bad
the
at all.
nice, you never don't have a little breeze.
That's
you
true.
Never don't. Never. It's a double negative. I hate double negatives. You always have a nice light coastal breeze.
We do indeed.
Yes.
And we have a wonderful show today. Welcome to Raising the Standards. An old buddy we've not had since the old studios.
Oh, really? That's
right?
true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Good call.
From Shadowbrook, Ted Burke. And before I introduce Ted, I want to point out the whole idea of someone that owns a restaurant coming to see us the day before Mother's Day is really remarkable, because if you own a restaurant the day before Mother's Day, you spend the day looking at the dining room trying to figure out how you're going to fit 8 more four-tops in for the next day. Ted Burke, how are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you so much. So great to be back with you again.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. Happy early Mother's Day. And
Happy Mother's Day.
We'll cut to the chase and say we're not going to talk about reservations today because there ain't none.
No.
There ain't none. No, it sells out quick. We take them 30 days in advance, and I'd say 90% of them after the end of the first week are taken.
And you're doing 3 seatings tomorrow, right?
About 3.5.
3.5 seatings. My
Nice.
gosh. Yeah.
Long day for everybody. But
That's a long day.
The 6:30 a.m. isn't quite sold out yet.
Man, I know.
But your mom, we both are, obviously all our moms are gone.
I
But
know.
do you buy yourself flowers on Mother's Day, or do you anything? Obviously,
You know,
remember.
my dog and my cats should really be taking care
Yeah, they
of
should.
me, is what I've kind of thought. But I've been really celebrating the other mothers. Like this last week, I sat down and I thought of all of my friends who are mothers, and they're all really wonderful mothers. Yeah. And I wrote them Happy Mother's Day cards,
that's
and I
sweet.
mailed them to them.
Oh, my Lord.
Because you know what? It's kind of funny to get a card in the mail. You know, that's pretty exciting. So I mailed them to all of them. And then a couple of them I mailed the week before, because I actually thought last Sunday was Mother's Day. So, you know, I'm kind of trying.
I
I'm in there.
realized years ago that I am not capable of writing cursive anymore.
Oh, see, I can
have
only.
to. Do you write cursive and write letters?
not if I want somebody to read it.
That's my printing.
I've just got a note from a lunatic.
No, my printing is not good, but
Oh,
my cursive is better.
Is it?
And I've gone to Catholic schools, and believe me, hours and hours of practice.
Oh, we used to. Well, and especially I don't even remember what I got in trouble for, because I was actually a very good kid. I was never naughty, but somebody thought I did something, and I went home and I had to write so many pages of Bible verses in cursive.
Like the opening of The Simpsons.
Oh my God! I remember completely.
Yeah.
My mom walked in. She goes, "What did you do?" I said, "I have no idea. I don't know.
But I'm halfway through Genesis.
I don't know."
Well, that's funny, but I really dislike people that did calligraphy. that you get this.
That's totally different.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
I mean, I said, get a life. How long do you spend on this?
Yeah.
Rosie and I were talking the other day. They played something by Stan Freberg, a commercial. And Stan Freberg used to have a great bit about the 4th of July. And he's going around trying to get people to sign the Declaration of Independence. He says, come on. He says, look, Hancock signed it. and the guy says, pretty flamboyant signature for an insurance man.
Yeah.
And finally he says, well, when are we going to meet? He said, well, we're thinking about meeting on the 4th of July. He goes, nah, everybody's going to be off for the holiday.
Oh, my God.
So you grew up in Sacramento.
I did.
Yeah.
I grew up in Sacramento, grade school, high school.
Yeah.
Till,
You were up there when your kid was Earl Warren was the governor?
Pat Brown.
Pat Brown. Was he before Warren?
I think he was after Warren.
After Warren, yeah, okay. Yeah.
He was after Warren, and we were talking baseball.
Yeah.
And, we used to have a great AAA baseball team in Sacramento, the Sacramento Solons, which I had to always look up what that meant. But, yeah.
Well, that's a good question. What does Solon mean?
It's something political.
Oh, I can look it up. You know, Brandon, who comes and joins us sometimes, he's a big, all sports buff.
But he's a savant.
He's a savant. Brandon loves Sacramento, and I just wanted to know, what's his? Because I didn't really know that he had been there very much. He loves Sacramento because it has a higher population of women than men. There are more chicks there.
Yeah.
More chicks. And then the good food, which makes sense.
Great sushi, Sacramento.
Yeah, really
it's
good
amazing
food.
how many great sushi restaurants there are.
Well, he was saying a lot of chefs live in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that
they're
interesting?
able to,
And in recent years, a lot of Bay Area people moving out of the expensive areas in Sacramento was a value.
Did you ever see the documentary, The Battling Bastards of Baseball?
No.
Which is
Sounds like a great title.
Well, it's about the team that was in Portland that was owned by Kurt Russell's dad. Oh. And they were the biggest. They had the biggest numbers of any independent franchise, and it's fascinating. I think it's on Netflix.
Is it a AAA team?
Yeah, it's a AAA team.
Portland Pilots.
The Pilots. Yes, that was it. Fascinating. You told me, we spoke earlier in the week. People are going, are they going to talk food or what? We will. Just stay with us. You had a Willie Mays story who turned 93 this week.
My boyhood hero. My favorite baseball memory actually was because of Willie. I remember reading that when the ball hit the bat, he would take off and run with his head down, and he would go right to the spot where the ball was going to come down and turn around and catch it.
Yeah.
So I always tried to practice that. Well, one time I got invited to go to a game with...
How did that work out for you?
It worked out unbelievable. A friend across the street, his sister just got out of high school, and her boyfriend is playing semi-pro ball, and we go to watch them. And they were one player short because somebody had a flat tire or something and were late. So they asked the other team if I could play right field. And I'm 10 years old. And everybody there's in early 20s.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So I'm in right field, and sure enough, somebody hits it between right and center. And I do this thing, just head down, run as fast as I can, look up, and God darn it, 15 feet in front of me, dropping, is the baseball. I had picked up a first baseman's so I could just reach over, and I grabbed it a foot off the ground.
Good for you.
And I could hear everybody yelling, God, he caught it. Oh. And I was so far back, and I had a good arm because I used to pitch. The ball bounced into second base. I couldn't even throw it.
Wow.
Well, you're 10 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
did you ever meet Willie?
No, never met him. But I am hoping to watch him. Not hoping, I'm looking forward to watching him on June 20th. I'm going to Birmingham, Alabama, Rick Wood Field, the oldest baseball park in the United States.
From the Negro Leagues.
The Negro Leagues when Willie Mays first started, and they're honoring Willie.
That is so cool. I think
Giants
Aaron played there as well.
Yeah, I think he did too.
Have you been to Cooperstown?
Not yet.
Oh, get on! You got trust me. Bucket lists have a tendency to get short, so get to it. And so we have a good friend of Rachel and mine, Jeff Idelson, who is the president of the Hall of Fame, is a regular guest, and he's with Grassroots Baseball. I've gone there a couple times, and it is fairly remarkable.
I have some grandsons who play, so I'm looking forward to taking them there.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Raising the Standards. We're talking to Ted Burke, owner of the iconic Shadowbrook restaurant. You and your mom used to go there.
We loved it. We would always go sit in the bar.
Yeah.
I loved it, honestly. Because they have
This is why you're writing notes to the Catholic schools,
they have
by the way.
wood-fired pizza. That's
They
a
do.
big deal to have wood-fired pizza in a bar with a fireplace and beautiful gardens surrounding you, and you're looking out over the Capitola River, and there's music playing.
Well,
and need I go on?
The
I
restaurant
mean,
seats more people than were at Trump's inauguration.
it's
That's how big it
incredible.
is.
It's beautiful. Now,
And you have, you have like
yeah.
6 dining rooms, right?
7.
7. Unbelievable.
It's quite incredible. Solon.
Solon
Yeah.
is a man. He
Really?
was an Athenian politician and lawmaker, and he lived 638 to 558 BC.
lived backwards.
Lived
Kind of
backwards,
a
yeah,
Benjamin
technically,
Button.
yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
before we were around.
That's
Exactly.
right. I think Earl Warren was governor
Yeah,
at that
it was a long
point.
time ago. He's also considered the first innovative lawmaker that set the ground for the creation of democracy.
Really?
Governmental system made Athens.
Was he a contemporary of Socrates?
Let's see when Socrates lived.
Can you? All right.
They were neighbors.
Rachel will be busy.
It'll be big. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Socrates came later.
Oh, we did. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today, do you watch Check Please on PBS?
Oh, I do.
Which
yeah.
I love, and Leslie
Love
Sparacco wears thin after a while. But it's always driven me crazy because the show, everything is either San Francisco or for some reason Petaluma, which I don't get.
I like that, though.
But
It's
they
cool.
never really come south.
Oh, I
Very
see what you mean.
rarely.
No, that's not fair.
If there's a South Bay restaurant, it's very rare. Well, they've just did a feature on Monterey area restaurants, and sure enough, Shadowbrook was there. How did that all come together?
It was just a surprise email that came in and just said that for 18 years, Check Please Bay Area has confined itself to Bay Area restaurants, but we're going to do a 2-week promotion for Santa Cruz and Monterey counties, and would you be interested in participating? And, of course, it didn't take long to return that call.
Wow.
And said, yes, we would. And so they set it up, and
Now,
enjoyed it.
did you know the person? Was the person really a regular customer who was on the show to talk about?
No,
No.
you don't know them. They come in unannounced, and they can come in over a 2-month period.
Okay. Oh, so it's like a Michelin deal. You don't know that they're coming in.
Wow.
All right. Very cool.
You're right. I'm looking through the list. It's all Bay Area for the most
But
part.
in fairness, because
incredible.
Well, Ted just said it is Check Please Bay Area. Now that I think
that
about
makes
it,
sense.
so that's
No,
really
that
not
does make
shocking.
sense. Yeah, no, we're not going to hold that against them. That's a good call.
It aired a couple of weeks ago. The first one.
It did. A couple weeks ago.
Did you get a bump?
We've had people mention it.
Okay.
Because they told us that you should overstaff a little bit for the few weekends afterwards because people have said it. And we did have people mention it. I don't know if anybody really came because of that. I do know one lady did, in a way, but her daughter, she's a Marin, and her daughter goes to school at UCSC, and it was her daughter's birthday. And so she wanted to come down and celebrate the birthday, and then she picked our place because she has seen the show.
So when they decide on you, from a production standpoint, is it an afternoon? They come down and film for a day, or how does that work?
It was incredibly long
Yeah.
day. So we say, yes, we want to participate. They say, okay, well,
Good, close the restaurant
We're going to
for
let
us.
people, for the next 6 weeks or so, we'll have 2 guests come in and enjoy dinner and report to us. And I said, okay. And then we'll come back in February and we'll film.
Right.
And so they came back in February. They were there almost close to 8 hours of filming.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing because there's 3 restaurants in this half-hour show.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
10 minutes the most.
You know, people don't think or don't know how much behind the scenes our friend Hisham, who is a chef at Willow Street, or the chef at Willow Street, has done a lot of Food Network stuff.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy in New York who did Chopped. And I said, is it really 20 minutes that you get? He says, it literally is, but the setup to it, you're there a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
So
Production is
it's
incredible.
a big deal.
And the person who did, I don't remember her name, Lori Halloran. She's the one I was kind of the point person, and she was there all day the day we filmed, and she was just terrific of working with it. I can see why that show's successful with people they have working with it are pretty top notch.
We're going to talk more about the history of Shadowbrook. Did you see Unfrosted yet?
I did not.
Jerry
Yes.
Seinfeld's film, which has gotten just terrible reviews.
How weird.
and it's about the invention of the Pop-Tart. And I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But everybody I've recommended it to, like some films I recommend to you, just hated it.
Oh, just
And
that one I hated.
Yeah, well, it's just... it's so clever, and it's about
it's a really good cast.
The battle between Kellogg's and Post and trying to come up with the first Pop-Tart. And there's a scene where the mascots are angry and they go on strike.
Oh, my God. Well, it's such a good cast. I'm surprised.
Yeah, Hugh Grant plays Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
And they're filming a commercial. He goes, that's good. Because that's not going to work. Good. No, that's good.
Oh, I'll watch this for sure.
And you won't relate as much as Ted and I would, but every toy as a child that you had, from Slinky, they go to Walter Cronkite and he's playing one of those wheelie things. It's really cute. And some very, very strange stuff when the mascot stormed the building. It's reminiscent of January 6th. And it's really
honestly,
fun.
this is a who's who. I mean, Christian Slater, Hugh Grant, Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer, Bill Burr, Peter Dinklage, Dan Levy, Eugene Levy's son. I mean, there's a lot of people. This is amazing.
It's fun. Check it out. We're going to continue chatting with Ted from Shadowbrook. We got a little Houston person there. I think we do. It's a little music.
I've got Freddie Fender and Chris Kane.
Chris Kane. I'll forget Houston. Let's do a little Chris Kane. But before we do, I will tell you quickly, and this probably is sold out as well, but Chris Kane Monday night is at the Kiwamba.
Oh, love.
Actually, I'm going to go over there Monday night, and then he'll be opening Jazz at the Ranch on October 18th.
Crazy.
My favorite blues guitarist on the planet, and enjoy. You're listening to Raising the Standards, the Internet's finest hour.
Oh, you are.
Some people don't need an introduction.
One more for you,
oh, it's a slow start.
Give it one more time for the incredible Mr. Chris Kane on the saxophone, the vocals, the keyboard, the guitar, and this amazing band. Come on.
The great Chris Kane, maybe a Kawamba on Monday. He did. He played Jazz in the Playas one year, and I had the first time I thought I had met him, and he shows up for the television interview where he's wearing overalls, like oh my gosh, overalls.
Oh, cool.
With a Coors Light in each pocket. Oshkosh.
Yeah.
With a Coors Light in each pocket.
Oh,
and he goes, I was a big fan of yours at K-Pan. I go, well, thank you.
What? Oh my goodness.
What a nice man. Welcome back to Raising the Standards, talking to Ted Burke, who I say owns, which you do, but over the years your title has morphed. You started as a busboy, didn't you, there?
I started as actually a food server because the restaurant had just been purchased. Shadowbrook, this is 1972, and at that time Shadowbrook was not open year-round.
Really?
So that was the first year it was open year-round. So the restaurant got sold in the spring, and of course the new owners had no staff to inherit. Yeah. And so they were hiring people without much experience, and in my case, zero experience.
Well, now, why wasn't open year-round? Was it like a summer resort considered? Or?
It was just like a lot of businesses in this area were in the 60s and 70s. There was, before Silicon Valley, before the university, it was just dead.
Yeah.
What year did it originally open?
1947, October of 47.
47. And if folks, if you haven't been there, and this is a dual-edged sword. I think it's an okay rap. It's kind of a bad rap that you get. Well, it's great for proms or special occasion. No. It's a great restaurant day in and day out, and you must have to fight that a little bit. It's okay to come other than on your engagement day.
Well, yeah, we hope to see him much more than that. I mean, everybody has a birthday, and most people have anniversaries, so those are always built-in business, and we appreciate that. But, yeah, year-round. In fact, one on that check, please, when you were talking about that, one of the comments that one of the guests made that I really liked, he was asked, had you ever been there before? And he said, no, I just thought it was kind of a touristy place and something like that for proms and those kinds of things. He says, well, I'm so glad I went. Now I'm going to be back often.
Yeah.
So that made me feel good.
Yeah. As well it should. So you became a server in 72? And
on the way to graduate school.
Okay.
It was going to be a summer job.
Wow.
Fell in love with the business and never left.
And then you move up to sheriff, marshal, sharpshooter, and then owner. Is that how that works?
They made me manager. Sometimes I think it was just I was such a poor server. They wanted to get me off the floor. I couldn't afford the breakage. And did that. Then I, as I said, fell in love with the business, was thinking about doing a restaurant on my own someplace. And then the owners approached about 77 or so and just said they wanted to move on and asked me to make an offer they couldn't refuse. And I said, well, it's going to have the biggest note in the world with it.
I was just going to say,
absolutely.
But 5 years, you go from a server to they're offering you to buy the restaurant? That's amazing.
Right. And you went for it, which is great.
Yeah.
I think you guys do have a lot. I mean, but I think that as far as regulars goes, I talk to so many people who they go every other Wednesday or every, there's just, because you've created this atmosphere where you can have the kind of more fine dining, kind of more, less casual kind of thing, but then you have a really nice bar that has really good food, and so people can have the best. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
Well, and I think there are so many places that the foreplay, for lack of a better word, the setup is better than the delivery, and you've got the great elevator going downstairs, the cable car, and that. But it's great. It's great from the top and quite literally and figuratively to the bottom when you get into the restaurant, and it's a kick to be in. It's a different. It's not like, we've got another dining room over here. No. We've got a whole another set of an atmosphere in this room.
Right.
Describe. I don't know if you can remember 7 at your age, but describe all the.
You're right. Each room has. I don't know if it's a strong word as theme, but they're different. The colors in are different. The materials, the table linens are different, and the architecture is different. Yeah. And the garden room, for example, that's the room that has the tree that still grows right through the roof there. The greenhouse looks like a greenhouse with slate floors and windows that drop down, so it gets nice coolness of the breeze going through. So, wine cellar was our actual original wine cellar, but now it's a dining room. And so you're right. Every you can go there 6 or 7 times and have a different atmosphere each time.
Bert's a friend of ours and a friend of the show's from the Sardine Factory. It's similar to that in terms of the different rooms. And he's got the torture chamber downstairs. The cellar winery, which is remarkable.
You know, that's a good point. I didn't think about this, but I've talked to a lot of people who have proposed or, I guess gotten engaged at Shadowbrook. How many? What do you think? How many do you think? Millions.
Yeah, Rachel, I'm glad
so
you
many.
had that topic up because I think one of the nicest compliments we ever received was in a magazine. It was a national magazine. I don't think it's around anymore. It was called New Woman. It was out in New York. And the article was the top 10 places to kiss on the left coast.
Oh, really?
Someone brought it in to me to show. And these are iconic places. I mean, they had the Golden Gate Bridge. They had the Seattle Space Needle, places like that. And they had the cable car.
The cable
Shadowbrook
car.
and Capitola. All 9 of those 10 were just the names.
Wow.
Shadowbrook was the only one that had some text to it or comments, and it said the most romantic restaurant in the galaxy.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
And then what I really like to find out the real story behind it, and then the comment was, people have been known to propose to people they don't even like.
And what I called an elevator, it's obviously the cable car.
Well, it's a vernacular. How do you say that word?
It's
Funicular?
You say it correctly, but it's not the correct word.
That's not it? Okay, somebody told me that's what it was, so this is good. We're clearing this up.
If it had 2 cars moving in opposite directions, that would be funicular.
Then it would
In
be
one
funicular.
car, it's a elevator.
Elevator, all right.
Ill-elegant name.
Which
but
was invented, by the way, in Athens in 638 BC.
By
Oh,
the
that's
Solons.
right. Yeah, the
By the
Solons.
Solon.
Yeah, followed by Socrates.
My answer of what are the 10 best places to kiss on the east or the west coast would have started with neck, but
Yeah,
say
okay.
that
It would have been a
wouldn't be it.
different deal for you. It is a very romantic restaurant, though. They're right. It really is.
And also, kudos to you, and you could tell it's a profound statement about a restaurant is employees and how long they've been there. And you've got people that have been there many, many years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, it's a great mixture because being a beach town and a university town, there are people who are with us for 3 or 4 years while they're going to school, and they move on and they move out of the county and such. But we have, I would say, we have more employees than anybody would ever realize for a restaurant. We have 165 employees.
Really?
Yeah.
My God.
And I would say about 60 of them have probably been there 10 years or longer.
Yeah.
And about 30 of them 20 years or longer.
Wow.
Oh, really quick. So I forgot about this little tidbit. So we went to Shadowbrook it was a couple months ago, and we went to my boyfriend's sister's house because she lives in the zone where you can do the car. And so she made the reservation to do the car. We all get in the car.
Oh, the taxi?
The taxi. And we're about halfway to Shadowbrook, and the gentleman who was driving turns around, looks at my boyfriend, and goes, "I know you." And he goes, "What?" And he remembers everybody, so he's perplexed. Ended up, it was his high school principal, coach. One of your drivers, your taxi drivers, was either coach, principal, I will find out for sure, but at Soquel High. And really, really, just such a nice guy. But it was so cute because he remembered. He was such a local, like, sweet memory too. Because he was going, "Yeah, I remember you. You were a good kid. You know, you got in trouble a couple times. I watched that, but it was just so it was just lovely. No, it was very sweet.
With my luck, I'd be with my wife, and he'd remember me having been there with some blonde.
Oh, I know.
You were here with the blonde in
You got to be
July,
careful.
weren't
He's got a good memory, so you got to be careful. Yeah.
You have a pastry chef?
We do.
Yeah, well, 165. We have a condiment chef. So the pastry chef, you do all your own desserts there.
We do.
Okay.
Even our ice cream.
You make your bread there?
No. We it's a frozen product that we reheat. Really excellent. People ask for it all the time. I don't think they sell it commercially.
Yeah.
It's a roll. But our pastry chef is just wonderful, from wedding cakes to simple desserts.
Yeah.
You do a lot of weddings?
We do.
Yeah.
Quite a few. You know what?
So do you have to do a buyout for that? Or
No. They this program around what we're open. And we, being small rooms, a restaurant, the weddings are on the smaller size. So there's 20 to 40s and 50s. It's not the 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and
like
we did that for my aunt's boyfriend's. God, it must have been his 80th birthday. We took over that whole downstairs area, And it was so nice to be, I mean, you're in this lovely place and there's all these other people there, but at the same time, you do have a really good way of separating it so that you can kind of isolate an area. It was great.
You can do that. The other thing that is fascinating to me over the years that I've been there is the change in some of these private parties now. Certainly do a lot of weddings and, of course, wedding rehearsal dinners and such. Memorials.
Like celebration of life?
Celebration of life, there's at least one a week.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked the coordinator of the banquet room there, what's the reason? Why is this? And she said, it's just people always just say it was their favorite place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they met their wife there, or they got proposed there, or their whatever it might be. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Certainly begs the question, can you fit a casket on the cable car?
God. You probably could. You probably could.
Yeah, you'd have to wait.
I've cozied up in there with quite a few people. Yeah. It's a spacious car, but it's not a cable car. It's not a cable car.
It's a pelodrome. No, it's a
Helivator. I have some people to talk to about that this afternoon.
Well, and if you don't want to wait for the Helivator on the way back, you better wait. But going down, it's a lovely walk down.
Yep. I always walk.
Not back. Not back is a little daunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my advice too. Yeah, wander down through the ferns and waterfalls and gardens, and then walk back, take the cable car up.
No, that gets you in the zone. Yeah, on the way down, you kind of get in the zone.
No, are you a frustrated chef?
I like to cook, but I'm not frustrated about it. Luckily, I have some really talented people in the kitchen.
But
I guess I get my enjoyment just because we have weekly meetings and hear what they have in mind, what they like to do, and we talk about a dish, whether it needs to be changed or et cetera. So I get to play chef without being one.
Well, in 72 or 77, when you had envisioned owning or opening a restaurant, it was that or buy a boat. Just whatever's the easiest way to lose a fortune. But had you thought of being a chef then?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
Good, a realist.
Yeah.
You have no doubt tried and continue to try everything on the menu, but what's your go-to dish or a couple?
Oh, that's impossible to answer. It's just like I don't even have a go-to drink. It's
they answered it on Bay Area.
In.
Please check.
Did they?
Check, please.
Okay. I can't remember what I said, but
if you can't, I can remember my favorite drink. that's the easy one. But it's because of my favorite drink. I can't remember my favorite food. What do you love there?
We go. So my dad. I'd like to go with my dad and my aunt. And we go, and we usually actually sit outside. There's this very particular table that my dad likes outside that's it's corner right up against the wall so that you can see the river. So we always kind of sit there. And then we really like the appetizers. We get really into the appetizers. I usually have a salad.
The brie is good, yeah.
The brie is delicious. We've done the the shrimp kind of, the little shrimp appetizer. I love the warm bread and butter. And then I usually do, like a salad, maybe split a pizza. But you guys always have really good specials. That's another aspect of it. Oh, and before I forget, you usually always have a very good seasonal bread pudding, which is my favorite thing. And I have had, I think last time there was like an apple cinnamon thing going on. I usually love fruit melodies with bread pudding, but bread pudding is very important. I know not everybody, it's kind of, people think bread pudding is over. It's not.
It's not.
It is very, very not over. And the people that don't know about it just haven't tried it. So whenever I go out to dinner with people, I try to find out what kind of bread pudding there is, and then I order it for the table because the people who think that they don't like it have not tried it. And then once they try it, they go, "Oh, I like bread pudding. I didn't know that. My grandmother
Baked
used to."
Alaska is over.
But my grandmother's the one that taught me about bread pudding. She would always get bread pudding, and my friends didn't know what it was because the name doesn't sound.
You do it in the rum sauce?
No, I mean, it depends on, it's all seasonal. Yeah. So, sometimes they'll have a peach, sometimes they'll have an apple, cool. Sometimes they'll have a blueberry or whatever.
It's a great dish to share, too. Cause it's
perfect
easy
to share. Yeah. Absolutely. With a little warm vanilla ice cream. Anyway.
I like it. Can you stick around a couple minutes?
Certainly. Thank
all right,
you.
we're going to do liner notes, which is the Freddie Fender, the aforementioned
I've got
Freddie
it right
Fender.
here, yeah.
Today, a tune with a title that I have no clue what it means. In fact, I'm not even sure what the lyrics are. What I do know is that I love Freddie Fender, and I love this song, Tahami Ensinar. But first, a little backstory. When I was at Cape Ann during the late 70s and early 80s, we had a dear friend who ran the Circle Star Theater in San Carlos, which was a terrific venue featuring a revolving stage with good sight lines and great sound. And I saw everyone from Sinatra and Benny Goodman to Ella with Basie to Willie and Richard Pryor. One of my favorite shows, however, was Freddie Fender and the Texas Tornadoes. Fender was a Tejano artist who enjoyed great success with a number of crossover hits, including Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, Before the Next Teardrop Falls, and Vaya con Dios. Today, from 1976, Déjame Enseñar. The apparent translation is to teach, which I'm sure is true. However, if you find yourself singing along in English to the lyrics of Hotel California, trust me, you're not alone. Either way, enjoy.
Como quiero yo, que si comprendieras lo que es el amor, otra cosa fuera y no como es, porque en esta vida todo puede ser. Mira tú mi niña, mira para acá, que cuando te hablo estás mirando para allá. Cuando por la noche la luna nos da toda su dulzura para enamorar. Mira tú mi niña, mira para acá, que cuando te hablo estás mirando para allá. Cuando por la noche la luna nos da toda su dulzura. Déjame seguirte enamorando, te quiero enseñar, te quiero enseñar. Déjame seguirte yo besando, déjame enseñar para enamorar. Como quiero yo, que si comprendieras lo que es el amor, otra cosa fuera y no como es, porque en esta vida todo puede ser. Mira tú mi niña, mira para acá, que cuando te hablo te están mirando para allá. Cuando por las noches la luna nos da toda su dulzura para enamorar. Déjame seguirte enamorando, te quiero enseñar, te quiero enseñar. Déjame seguirte yo besando para enamorar, para enamorar. Mira tú mi niña, mira para acá, que cuando te hablo estás mirando para allá. Cuando por las noches la luna nos da.
If I were to ask you, what do you guys do that will...
Well, that was beautiful.
Well, you got it?
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, but again...
You just had your headphones off.
Well, here's what I don't understand. That's Hotel California.
It was, yeah, for sure.
But but the lyrics sure weren't.
Yes, right.
Because I would have understood the word hotel in California.
At least, yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, California.
And there's just the great, all the stories about what the lyrics mean. in that song, that supposedly it's about rehab.
Oh.
Yeah, in Southern California, which I did, and I don't remember hearing that song, but I
didn't
remember
know that.
I remember wanting some wine, and I hadn't had it since 1969.
That's news to me.
Freddie Fender. I love it. Yeah. Ted, I speak Spanish. What does it say? I don't know.
I have a hard time understanding English lyrics.
Music is really tough.
It's really tough for me. I mean, I still remember that song, "The Bad Moon on the Rise."
Yeah.
And I always thought there's a bathroom on the right.
Yeah.
It never made sense to me.
Absolutely.
So I may have said this while we're on the air, but if I were to ask you, what's one thing about Shadowbrook, other than it's not a tourist trap, that would really surprise people to know?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have a solitary answer to it. One that would surprise people.
I think a value, one of the things, it is not and I hate the phrase overpriced, but it is not what I would consider, having just been in New York a couple weeks ago. I kind of steer away from the $4 sign restaurants, but it's a reason. It's not inexpensive, but it's a value.
Right, and it has a misperception sometimes because being a special occasion place, people are celebrating. So they're having champagne, they're having appetizers, they're having desserts. They're having lobster, and then they get the bill and go, "Oh, this is more than the last time I went to this another restaurant."
Yeah.
Well, look what you did.
Did you drink that much?
Celebrating.
Yeah, you're celebrating. So you tend to purchase a little bit more when you're celebrating, and so your bill's going to show that at the end. But item by item, no, I think that would surprise people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And we need to redefine the word celebrate, because you can celebrate a meal, celebrate a Tuesday afternoon or a Tuesday evening. It's not always with the candles and the ring, folks. I mean, certainly it could be, but if you want a great meal, I mean, it's terrific food.
Oh, and another thing that when my mom was going there with me, we really, really liked, you guys have a lot of good sides. And that was always kind of my mom's favorite, because my mom was a vegetarian for a long time. So she typically would order from the sides menu. She would often ask, "Hey, what kind of vegetables do you have on the side tonight? Do you have like a potato medley? Do you have this, do that?" You guys have a spot on the menu where you can see what all the different sides are. And so I've just kind of gone down the line and sampled those over the years. So that's pretty cool.
It does, yeah. The menu's expanded and it gives people a lot of choices, especially in the vegan, vegetarian.
Absolutely.
I mean, it went from nothing to now something. There's a great risotto now that just been added that I particularly like.
Remember 20 years ago, before vegan meals, it was like, what kind of jello you want? It was
No,
like,
exactly. I mean,
try the raspberry.
Oh, yeah. In the 90s, when I was growing up going to dinner with my mom, she was always trying to figure out what to eat. But there, she could always find something really good. So, yeah.
So what do you got? What do you have on? You got a personal bucket list other than maybe meet Willie Mays when you're in Alabama?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if it's an exciting one, but I would like to. I think I'm getting closer to the horizon of my tenure at Shadowbrook. I've been there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Been there since 1972. I've been working on a second home in Mendocino for the last 8 or 9 years because it's in the coastal zone and taking time. And COVID happened, and there's not a lot of construction workers up in Mendocino. And so, anyway, I enjoy that community a lot. I'd like to spend some more time up there.
We spent our honeymoon at Heritage House, and after those years, after seeing the same time next year, and we went probably 18 years in a row. We haven't been back. We may go back for our 50th, but Heritage House is not owned by the same people anymore.
No.
Was it the Dreesens or the Densons? I think
Densons,
it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
But it's still there?
It's still there. Yeah, it's reopened, and I am. In fact, I'll make it, and I'll report back to you. Go in and have a cocktail and see how it's doing.
Yeah, Mendocino is a very hip place, and we would always drive up there, stop to play golf. What's the development on the coast?
Oh, I know which one. Shelter Cove area.
Something like that. Yeah. And there was Gualala. It's just south of Gualala, and they used to have a little, it wasn't a diner, like a deli there called Food that was really terrific. And as you drive up, I remember when we got married, the lovely and talented Mrs. Jacoby and I drove up there, and we missed the turn, and we ended up in Eureka. I said, "This is taking a long time."
That's a big U-turn.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
So, are you building you got a house up there?
It was a house that it was an existing place. It had not been lived in 8 years when I bought it, so it gives you an idea what kind of shape it was in. But it's been fun fixing it up, and I look forward to spending. I don't think I'll move up there, but I'd like to spend maybe 4 months a year or so up there.
Absolutely.
That would be growing up in Sacramento and ending up in Mendocino on the coast would be.
Yeah, there's a lot to do up there. I mean, there's always festivals. In fact, there's a music festival.
Well, there's a great Giacomo was telling us is it Eureka or Fort Bragg? I think had some great jazz clubs.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and they're 11 miles apart.
Exactly. By the way, Sea Ranch.
Yes.
Is the name of the development. They used to have 9 holes. I guess in the last 20 years they put in another 9 holes.
I remember that because I played golf there. And if you're a golfer, you know. So I remember the wind was blowing so strong. Yeah. I hit an 8-iron, which I normally hit about 150 yards in those days. Yeah. And it went up in the air and then started coming back at me, and it landed about 10 yards in front of me.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it was Poor Man's Pebble, like Pacific Grove is on the back 9. It was really beautiful up there. And have you spent any time in Mendocino?
No.
You should go up there.
I would love to.
Was one of the Dirty Harrys done up there? I know one of the Dirty Harrys was done in Santa Cruz.
San Francisco too, yeah.
Well, in San Francisco, but I think Sudden Impact was done in Santa Cruz along the boardwalk with was it Sandra Locke, his girlfriend at that point?
Maybe, yeah. I remember there was a car chase in San Francisco, if I remember correctly.
Bullet.
Bullet. You're thinking about that's
okay,
Steve McQueen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Steve McQueen. Yeah, of course. Okay.
But Murder, She Wrote, and that's a Mendocino.
That's it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like an East Coast.
Yes.
We got a couple of minutes. We couldn't recommend a restaurant anymore or a guest anymore. We're delighted that you're here. But we talked very quickly about you taking the train to Sacramento. I've always wanted to take, isn't there an American, it sounds like mutually exclusive terms, an American Orient Express that goes through the Rockies, that goes through the, I'd love to do that through through Yellowstone and stuff.
I think it's called Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You know, before I forget, too, tomorrow is Mother's Day. You know, some people really, they haven't gotten it together yet. And that is a really good gift, as a gift certificate.
Yes.
And that is always what I recommend to people, because honestly, if you miss the window on taking your mom, honestly, too, maybe your mom doesn't want to go out on a busy day.
Maybe she doesn't like you.
So, maybe she doesn't want to go with you. Maybe you get her the gift certificate and then you never see that gift certificate again. That might be what happens to you. But at least, you can put it in a card, and maybe put it in a card that you write something in. Yeah. About how much you love your mother.
Back to your Catholic girl practice.
And this is to the boys and the gals. And sometimes the gals forget too.
When you said tomorrow's Mother's Day, I could see in Ted's eyes the words, "Oh dear God, don't bring up reservations."
It's just
do not say you ought to swing by Shadowbrook.
I've been talking about it for about
bring
a week.
couple of guests.
I've been talking about it for about a week now. All the guys that I work with are so sick of me. I'm like, hey, so Sunday's Mother's Day. Did you get it together? Did you get it together? And they're like, Rachel, yes, yes, okay. The first time you told me.
You're right. I think some moms would like to go when they want to go.
Yeah,
and they might not. You're right. They might not want to go with you.
And take some different company.
I made the cover of Advertising Age years ago for a campaign I did for a restaurant, and for Mother's Day, and the campaign was, "She brought you into this world. The least you can do is take her out."
Oh my God! Yes, absolutely.
I don't think it worked, but it sure got a lot of press out of it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, delight to have you here, my friend. It's always fun.
For me.
You always have
you
always have an invitation here.
Anytime.
Otherwise, you and I just talk about binging and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of binging, Sugar. Have you started watching it?
No, I was
on Apple.
Yeah. No, I'm watching Sugar.
Well,
I'm just not very far.
Well, wait till you get further, because it is one of the strangest plot twists I have ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
really
cool.
interesting. You get Apple TV?
I do, but I don't watch TV.
I work for a living. That's why, trust me, when you get to Mendocino, you can call in because you're doing this.
That's good.
We close enough?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're
All
fine.
right.
Yeah, you're good.
That's it. The A train is on its way in. I'm on my way out, and we do thank you, and thank Ted Burke from Shadowbrook.
Absolutely.
As always, this show has been for Mark, for Georgianne, and for you. Until next Saturday at noon here on Santa Cruz Voice, and anytime on Spotify, and we once again raise the standards. I'm Jacoby. I'll see you soon.
If you should take a train,